Day 8, Kev. Day 9. Are we losing track? Day 15. Day 4.
I think we're closer to 15 than 8.
Yeah, closer to 15 than 8, but we're in there somewhere. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inside Curling with me, Jungle Jim Jerome, and of course, the one and only Kevin Martin, Olympic gold medalist. Canada Sports Hall of Fame was your latest accolade, Kev,
It was.
Yeah, I see. Since I didn't know. I thought it was kind of a yearly tradition. Maybe it is, but I think I saw 4 or 5 other people grabbing that in the last month or two. So, of course,
Canada Sport. The Order of Sport, or what
the Order of Sport that you got. Yep, they're
Has it
handing
been
them
a
out.
year? Has it been a year already? Gee.
No, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
That it's they're handing them out every 3 or 4 months. So, but no less something to achieve, my friend. Yeah, they don't hand them out lightly. They hand them out often, but not lightly. Okay.
Just so we don't get in trouble, we'll have to make a call and find out how often they actually do before we start saying stuff like that. Yeah. Well, they go on every 3 months. Yeah, we could get in trouble with that.
When you don't know, Kev, you just make the stuff up, okay? You just make the stuff up. What is going every day is curling, and that's why we're doing it, of course, Inside Curling, covering every game, every draw that we're going to give you a summary of and a recap of what's going on. Mixed doubles, of course, is finished. It finished last week. It starts before the Olympics. If you're tuning in for the first time, that's the first event to go. There's so much curling that they start before the opening ceremonies, which were last Saturday. So that's 8 days ago. So we started more than 8 days ago, Kev, because I think it started Wednesday or Thursday before the opening ceremonies.
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday.
Okay, so Wednesday's 8, 9, 10, 11. This is our 12th day.
Okay.
So I wasn't even close at 8. Happy anniversary, Kev. Happy 12th anniversary, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kev, one game closer, 1 or 2 games closer to rounding it out in the men's and women's. Who's going to make the playoffs? Who's not? That's why we have you on, man. So have at her.
Well, it's getting clearer. I do want to give an update, though, on... Remember, so, of course, all hell broke loose when Oscar accused Mark of this, and Mark told him where to go, and all that stuff. But that's kind of in the past now.
Right.
But because of that, though, they've had umpires on the lines, and they actually have had 2 People's Rocks pulled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to update everybody with that, because I'm not sure it's... I was just talking to Shauna, and she did not know about the second one. I told her about the first one.
Right.
But she didn't know about the second one, so people don't know necessarily. But Rachel Holman had a rock pulled.
Yep.
Yeah, in the game against Switzerland in the first end. But Rachel actually got out to a 4-0 lead. So it had nothing to do with Switzerland coming back and winning that game. That was a 4-ender late that beat Canada in that one. But that was one. And then Bobby Lammy had one as well in the 9th end.
With Mowat, yeah.
Yep. And which is a shock because he really, I don't know. But anyway, he did. And so that's 2 that have been actually pulled. So I just wanted to update everybody with that because it's important that people know what's going on. I think one thing that probably this is going to occur. Now, obviously, it took a long time to get the electronic handles going back years ago.
Yes.
And, you had people sitting on the lines, but as the athletes got bigger, stronger, faster, people like Marjane, for goodness sakes, how tall and how big is he, So I think it became unreasonable for humans to be able to see good enough because it's just so fast. Like, when did that person release a stone? Was it over? Wasn't it? So then the electronic handles came out. Mm-hmm. And that was great. That was a huge invention.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. And then of course, those handles got switched with other ones that didn't work. Obviously, the handles that are being used here, World Curling at the games, have been really, really good. So that's great.
Yep.
I just, what worried me right away is again, having people, which are great, they're trying their best. Mm-hmm. But having just the human eye try to see the speed of these curlers, that's so hard, Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, I just want to bring something up, and it has not been discussed with anybody with Curling Canada or World Curling or Grand Slam, anybody. But I wonder if it's time to put cameras, just little cameras, on the hog line to deal with all of this stuff, and to be able to have a video room and be able to check a replay. We hear it quite a lot now, and it's just the prize, the prize, the gold medal or the big money win, depending on where you're at. In this case, it's the game, so it's a medal win. It's so large now for somebody that walks away with a gold medal. It can mean a lot of money in that person's life. I wonder if it's just time, Jim, where you take the sort of the guessing out and you bring in video replay. Is that something reasonable, or am I totally out to lunch?
You know what, Kevin? I think it's totally reasonable because they do it in all other sports. Football does it, which was brilliant, right? It's too hard for a referee to see to see an infraction in real time, and they've got review. They've got the challenges, which is an excellent idea. Tennis is the most advanced, where it's Cyclops.
Isn't that amazing where the ball lands?
Yeah,
and it shows where the ball is. It's a quarter inch out, but it's so accurate. And softball, that's kind of why I brought it up too today, was because Michaela just got done, of course, playing with the Buffalo Bulls, and they're in a tournament right now.
Okay,
and they have, or you can challenge a play.
Right.
This is the university softball.
Right.
It's not professional. It's university softball, and they've got enough cameras and the work they do. So if there's a challenge at third base or at second base or whatever, they go to the video room and it's not a high budget.
Right.
It's pretty high budget. They're putting out a stream, but it's not. It's not. You're not having NBC or Sportsnet do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's something that needs to be discussed. It's just. I just think it's not anybody's fault other than the athletes and our game are becoming way too big and strong and fast. And that's not a bad thing. They're such young athletes now, and they're zooming at 1,000 miles an hour, and it's just hard for the human eye to. And we shouldn't even expect it. I think that's not even fair of us to expect the human eye to be able to see at that wicked speed.
Well, look at baseball. Okay, so baseball, brings it in. It is so effective. How can you tell if a guy is safe at first when the shortstop grabs it and drills it at 200 miles an hour or whatever he can throw to the first baseman? So they have that review. It's perfect. Okay. Is it a home run? Did the guy hit, did it hit the top of the wall or just 2 inches down? It's foul pole. Did it
No,
tick
they
the
have
pole?
they got a little bit different budget.
Yeah, they got some cameras.
We got to be reasonable, but that's why I brought up the university softball, because that's not huge budget, but the challenges exist and all of that. I think it's really, really fair. It gives a chance, for all that, and I think curling for many, many years it was fine, but our game has just become so good, which is a great thing. This is not a negative comment I'm making here. This is very positive. Mm-hmm. That the game and the athletes have become so good, and it's so much entertainment. Today's games, Jim, were unbelievable.
Right.
For great shot making and intense and the crowd going crazy and crowd worrying so much they couldn't even make a sound, and all of that.
Super cool.
And so the rest of it behind the scenes, I guess, is my point. Is it time to have those cameras on the hog line as well? Because it wouldn't cost very much, and you could have cameras move from event to event.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a ton of money. So anyway, that was just my thought of the day, because it's just maybe the game might be just getting there. You know what I mean? It's just changing, and I think it's the athlete's fault because they're getting so darn
They're getting
good.
so darn good. Yeah, maybe they embed a camera in the ice right around the hog line. But anyway,
well, that's up to the smarter people than us.
Yeah.
But
however,
to figure out the angles and where the camera should be and all that, that's fine.
Yep.
But you still need umpires though, to be able to have, if Oscar has a problem, he goes to the umpire. But then they have electronics to be able to, and that way the players don't have to fight it out.
Right.
It's just the umpire goes upstairs, figures it out, deals with it, whatever the rules say. Great.
Yeah.
And we carry on.
They also do it in basketball. You got to have the buzzer beaters, right? Which, did he release before the clock burned out? Flagrant fouls, they do it in basketball. It is a sport where someone says, well, if you do that, you're going to take the human element out of the game. And the answer to that is exactly. Okay. We don't want the human element in a lot of sports. We don't, pitching, Kevin, is they're about a step away from a robotic strike zone.
Oh, you're killing me.
Yeah.
I just felt.
Oh, no. You don't like that? Eh?
Oh, I don't know. I love baseball and softball. I coached for years. I'm a lover of baseball, softball.
I hit a nerve.
Oh, not to have the umpire. But I umpired. I did. I umpired softball and I reffed hockey. And yes, I heard it from the crowd a lot, of course. But gee, I love doing it. And I know, I'd get ribbed. And anybody listening to this who has been around the ball diamonds with me when I was coaching, yes, I might have rolled the umpires a bit hard too. but I was the first one to give them the handshake at the end of the game. Hey, thanks, buddy. This is, because good umpires, they got along good with me. Yes, if I thought a call wasn't right, I'd be on them.
Right.
But at the end of the game, I'd go right into the umpire's room and always got along great with them. But yeah, I know you're probably right. But it hurts me to think about it.
Yeah, especially with AI.
I love the umpire. I love the umpire and how they can, the really good ones. Get everybody rocking. Whereas an electronic one, you're taking something that I love away from the game. But you're probably not wrong, Jim. You're probably on the right track.
Yeah, that's true. Where you get the demonstrative umpire. Right now it's just going to be beep, strike 3. Beep, 2 down.
You know what, Jim? It brings me back, of course, showing our age, but Leslie Nielsen being the umpire.
Oh, sure.
I don't know what the heck movie it was, but hilarious.
Yeah, doing the dance, calling the strike before the pitcher even released the ball. It was hilarious, man. Check it out, folks.
Anyways, let's go to curling. We've talked this to death.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought it was something that it was on my mind, and I honestly, it's not anything negative for our game. It's because our game's become so good.
Right.
And I think proof of that is, and we'll get into that now, how curling has just taken the Winter Games in stride here. There's so much about curling to do with Cortina and the games. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I will. You know what? World Curling, as you know, we're the official podcast of them. What is cool that they've done, Kevin? We mentioned it yesterday that many other sports won't do is they've made a change on the fly. They made a change on the fly. It was perpetuated by Kennedy's, as we all know by now. Kennedy and Oscar, having a tete-a-tete there. And so they did. There's actually an article. If you check out the World Curling website, there's an article about protocols now.
Are you reading the website every day now?
I'm reading it every single day, Kevin.
You went from not knowing they existed to looking at it every day.
Yeah. I was trying to sound slick till you busted me. Yeah. But anyway, there's a good piece in there about protocols. So let's, Kev, let's get to it. Let's go good news, bad news. Let's start good news. Team Jacobs and the men's field.
Yeah, so where we're at right now as we stand, Switzerland putting on a show. They just beat Mowat and Great Britain, so that's a big deal. So that puts Switzerland 5-0. So they're really in good shape. They do have Sweden to play and Italy, but they're in a pretty good spot with who they play. 5-0. You pretty much have to give them a spot.
Sweden finally got a win, by the way.
Yeah, Sweden. Well, yeah, Sweden's at 1-4 though. So they're cliffhanging. Yeah. Anyway, and you've got Great Britain at 4-2, so not looking too bad. They've got Norway, Canada, U.S. to go, so nothing easy there for them. They've got all the people up top that they got to play. Canada is at 4-1. They're playing really good, and I mentioned that yesterday, saying Canada's looking good. I know all this controversy and stuff, but still. You still got Brad Jacobs, who's going to make most of those last shots, and and this is a experienced team. They can get through this controversy. So they're at 4-1, and they've got the Czechs, and but they do have Mouat and Retornaz to go yet. So, but they're in good shape. I would have to give them a check as well.
Yeah, tick that box. Yeah.
Tick that box. Now, Norway, U.S. That was the biggest game today, because both are sort of fighting for that last playoff spot.
Okay.
Actually, U.S. winning that game pole vaults them quite a bit higher than that. But anyway, between Norway and the U.S., going into it, Norway was 3-1, U.S. 3-2.
Okay.
U.S. won that game. They got out to a 5-0 lead, and it was tied up coming home. And the last shot that Daniel Kasper had to make was an angle raise and stick it.
Oh, no kidding.
And made it.
Oh, wow.
So he won it. So 4 wins, 2 losses, U.S.
Way to
so
go,
they're
kid.
now in the top 4. And that knocked Norway down to 3-2, which ties them with Italy. So that's where that stands. You've got Swiss, Canada looking good for a spot. Great Britain, Scotland, Mouat, pretty good. You can't give them a check. Because they've still got to play Norway, Canada, U.S. So they've still got a tough road to hoe. Norway losing that game, that hurts. I put them down to 3-2, and they've still got Mouat, Nicodine, Switzerland, Canada.
Oof.
I'll say that again. I'll say that again because, they've got Great Britain. So they got Mouat, Nicodine, Yannick Schwaller, Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I know those people.
Norway's in trouble. You know what I mean? They needed to win that game bad. So they're now in trouble. U.S. is at 4-2 playing China, who have not won a game yet. Italy, and then Mouat. So U.S. is looking pretty good. They need to win, probably again. If they beat Italy, that would probably do it. But if they could beat China, that would help a lot. And Italy's not done yet, though, either. They're at 3-2 playing China and then U.S. And they've got their last 2 games, though, Canada, Swiss.
It's a battle.
So
here.
Italy, that's 3-2, so it's not safe. So that gives you guys a really good idea of where everybody sits. It's 4 losses is in trouble, but maybe sneaks in. The problem is for people like Nicodine at 4 losses is that the U.S. they've beaten everybody other than Italy that are in that fight. You know what I mean? That are in that circle.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where that sits. That's
who's out of it, Kev, at the bottom there?
Czechia and China are out. Sweden is not out. I went to research. We've got a research department that's fantastic. I was telling you about Kelly Craig, but there's another couple of people that are just awesome. And I went to them this morning and said, listen, after the men's draw, can you please do all the calculations? Is Sweden in it or out of it after this game tonight? And they came up to me and said they are not mathematically out. So nope, Nicodine is not out.
With only 1 win, he's not out.
1 win and 4 losses, because if they win out, they could get to 5 wins, 4 losses.
Yep.
And the last 2 Olympics, 5 and 4 has been good enough to get into a tiebreak situation.
Oh, is that right?
And then it comes to head-to-head first, which is not good for Sweden because they've lost to the teams above, and then, but not impossible. And then, of course, draw the button after that if need be.
Good breakdown, Kev. Well done, my friend. You've done your homework. You get a star. Okay, you get the gold star. You get to go home early. Okay, for doing that. You don't have to write the final exam. All right, you got recommended. Let's go to that was good news with Canada in the men's. I said good news, bad news to the women with not so good news.
Well, not bad news yet for Canada's women's team. They've lost 3 in a row, so that's not good.
Yep.
But they're only at 3 losses, so they've still got. If they win out, they'll be fine.
Oh, they will. Okay.
Because they at present have the closest. They have the lowest draw to the button. Canada.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're near the top. They might now. They just drew today, and I didn't look after that, so I better be careful what I say.
Okay.
But they're right near the top.
Either way, they're right near the top. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing good that way. But you need to win some curling games. Right now, Sweden's at 5-0.
The board.
So you've got to kind of give them the check. Like they're curling great.
Perfect would be more like
one would expect that they will get to the playoffs. U.S. 4-1, alone in second place. They have been playing outstanding curling. They actually today they went steal last two ends to win. They were one down without, go steal to win that one.
Nice grab.
Switzerland 3-1, and they've got some tough games ahead. They've got Sweden, of course, the front runners. Great Britain, tough. South Korea, tough. And they still got the USA to play. So Swiss, you'd have to expect will be there at the end, but they've got tough teams to play. So we'll keep an eye on that. Denmark, 3-2. South Korea, 3-2. And both, though, in South Korea's case, look at this. Their last three games, Switzerland, Sweden, Canada.
Oof.
Ouch.
Yikes.
That's hard. So right now they're looking good for a playoff spot, but hang on. We don't give that a check mark yet because that's trouble. Denmark have Great Britain, U.S., China, Swiss. So kind of tough, kind of not.
Right.
So right now, that's not a bad look.
Winnable games then. Winnable.
Kind of winnable.
Yep.
Kind of winnable. For China, they're at 2-2. They've got Canada, South Korea, Denmark, Japan, who are having trouble a little bit. Denmark's doing okay, and Sweden. So they got a bit of a tough road. China.
Okay.
They got a bit of a tough road.
Okay.
And then you got Canada at 1-3. Canada still has to play China.
Yes.
Okay. Medium tough.
Yep.
South Korea, Japan, who aren't doing well, but they should be better than that. But anyway,
like home,
Sweden,
they should be
real tough. Italy and South Korea. So I'd say Canada has one of the easier roads, but they've already lost 3 games.
Yeah. Right.
So they basically have to win out. So anyway, that's where we're at with the women's. It's not that bad of news at 1-3, but it's cliffhanging.
We love cliffhangers. Yep, we love cliffhangers.
Yep.
So there you go. That's men and women's updates. They are 5 games through. Has anyone played 6 games? You just gave me all that. I didn't keep track.
No, 5.
No, so it's 5 games, which means there's 4 left. 10 teams, 9-game round robin. It certainly is a short round robin now. That half of it.
And things are starting to separate. You know, the groups are starting to separate.
Yeah.
By tomorrow, at the end of the day, we're going to know quite a lot more. Because women are going to play, the ladies' side are going to play 2 games. Men will be playing 1 tomorrow. Yeah, the women play 2 games, and the men play 1 tomorrow. So by the end of that, things will clear a little bit more.
Kev,
But, I'm glad that things are starting to level out with the controversy and all that. That seems to be settling out.
Sure.
Curling is becoming front of the page again, and I think that's a good thing.
Kev, so you're Rachel Holman. You win your very first game, and then you lose 3 in a row. Kev, so you got to go into the dressing room, into the locker room after your 3rd loss. You're nowhere near where you wanted to be through 4 games, nowhere near where people expected. And now you got to go play your 5th game. What are they doing, Kev? Are they just looking at each other, saying the obvious is everything's a must win? Everything's a must win, or what would you do? What would you do?
Well,
You're the skipper here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that I did, which I think was smart, looking in the rearview mirror, there wasn't a lot of social media. There was lots of email and then newspapers, radio, and TV back in the day.
Yes.
But I didn't watch or read any of it.
Oh,
I
okay.
stayed completely away from any sort of media, anything. I would give my interviews, of course, after the game.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I stayed completely out of it. I watched, I'd watch movies or shows or whatever, but I would never watch any kind of a news feed of any kind.
Oh, okay.
I think that's important for teams like Team Canada in the women's and the men's, actually, on both sides.
Shut
Stay
the
away
phones
from-
off. Shut your phones
all
off.
of that. Just be done with it and concentrate on what you can do, which is make curling shots. I always worried about an article or something, either really, really positive, which gives you this false sense of security, which could kill you, or reading an article that's really mean or whatever to you, which happens lots, and then it gets you down. Like either way could be bad. So I always stayed away. And any of my old teammates or coaches or management, they know that that's true. Like I always 100% stayed away from any of that, the outside influences, because that you can only worry about your job, and that's making shots, keeping control of your emotions, all of that. But when you talked about social media right now, they can be really nice to you, or they can be really mean to you.
Yeah, mostly mean. Mean. Yeah,
yeah, not all the time, but yeah, and it goes both ways. But how is that going to affect you emotionally? And I don't think a person really knows it for the Olympics until you go through it, because you're already like high strung.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's such a high pressure situation that how are you going to react if somebody calls you good or bad?
Right. Right.
To me, stay away from that stuff. And hopefully that's what Team Canada women especially are doing, just because, coming in, they're ranked number 1 by a mile. And now they've dropped 3 in a row. They get on a roll, nobody's going to stop them. But if they don't get on a roll, they might be out of this thing.
Yeah, big hill to climb, And by the way, Kev, talking about tough media, you live in a city in Edmonton where one of the most prolific sports writers in our time, Kev, it was Terry Jones. Jonesy, yeah. Terry Jones.
He's writing. I'm reading some of his stuff on social media.
Yeah, he can be the toughest critic, man. Jonesy always tried to find a different story. I remember I know Terry's a friend of mine, and the secret to a good sports columnist is coming up with something unique, coming from the other side. What's the story that's not told? And 9 times out of 10, Jonesy would sort of smirk, going, "Well, they're not going to like it, but it's a story. It's part of what the deal is." He was tough, man. He was tough.
However, came at me so many times over the years.
Did he?
But
Ever,
we're really good. Yeah, we're great friends still, and he was just doing his job. And I went, boy, oh boy, hell yeah, he buried me lots over the years. But that's all part of it.
Don't read the headlines, Rach. And Emma and the rest of your gang, don't do it. Okay, leave it alone. Kev, just out of interest before we go, everyone is, we're talking about Mark Kennedy and Oscar Eriksson, the controversy. If you're just hearing for the first time, Eriksson called Mark for double tapping the rock, and Kennedy went bananas, which I love. I love Mark. What are their percentages, Kevin? Everyone's just saying, okay, how's it going to affect their game? How are they curling, both of them, after going at each other?
Well, Mark, he's at he's third right now with thirds at 87%.
Oh, so he's solid. Okay,
so
better
he's
than
doing
solid.
Good.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, he's doing good. Oscar, but they're 1-4, so you can imagine Oscar's not playing as well, or else they'd be better than 1-4. But it's not bad. He's at 83.
Okay, and he won. And he won his next game after the shit hit the fan, or or close to it. I don't know.
They're both grizzled veterans, both of them. They'll be fine.
Yep.
They'll be fine.
So there you have it. Day 12 in the books from the games in Italy, and Kev will be back tomorrow with another update, and it's getting better, getting juicier and juicier all the time. They're halfway through the round robin. Bunch of games to come, bunch of different results. Don't count out Canada. Don't worry about Rachel. According to our pundit, the great Martino.
The games right now, Jim, are like an octopus. There's a million things going on in lots of directions, and we'll do our best to try to bring it to you, what's going on behind the scenes. That's what we do. It's Inside Curling.
Thanks a lot to Goldline, and thank you to World Curling, and thank you to you, the good listener, for tuning in. I don't know what our count was. If you'd like to sponsor our show, okay, if you'd like to sponsor just me, okay, Kevin's got lots of sponsors, okay, if you'd like to, I'm teasing. I don't know what our final count was, but we were well over 1 million on
that was yesterday. Mike sent me a note saying it's crazy, it's going up like crazy, so that's wonderful.
Yeah, we're in the multi-millions of people viewing, so it feels good. It feels good. Thanks for that. Thanks for the pat on the back, everyone, for doing it. Only human. Love to hear it. Kev, what's the drill now? How do you fall asleep? Are you a good sleeper?
Luckily, I am. Because we're all over the place. We never know. When you get up, what game we're going to do. Be it the first one where we have to be at the studio at 1 a.m. So basically waking up at midnight. That's tough. Or we have to be there at 6. So up at 5. Or not have to be there till 1 PM, which is very odd, but sometimes, and now would be leaving at around 10:30 in the morning. So it all depends. But the rough ones are if you have to do a split shift where you start at midnight till 4, get back to the hotel about 5, and then have to go back about 9. So the old split shifts, those are tough. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I love it. It makes no difference. I love it.
And I won't give you advice, Kevin, on how I used to handle split shifts emceeing the patch, okay? I'm not going to tell you how I did it, okay?
I might not want to do it that way.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow with another update. Go Canada, go from the games in Italy. See you, Kev.
Hey, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mason.
Thanks, Mason.